This interview with our ebook experts, Amy Harrop and Debbie Drum. They talk about how to get reviews for your ebook, which is your first step in your marketing efforts. If you missed our first interview on creation of ebooks, you can find it on writeforkids.org. So Debbie and Amy, we've got our ebook, we've created it, we've uploaded it onto Amazon. What's our first step toward marketing our brand new ebook?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having us here. I forgot to kind of do that, but
sure.
Yeah, we love doing these interviews, so thanks again for having us. Mm-hmm. And so one, big strategy that you should do before you even spend, one penny marketing your book is to get reviews. And, we always tell people this, and you want to kind of think of, what do you do when you go to Amazon to go and purchase a product, or anywhere for that matter? Your eyes just naturally glance over the star ratings and how many reviews a product has. That's almost like the modern day natural instinct that people have when they buy almost anything. What are other people saying? Restaurants, we go to Yelp, and we just want to hear what the feedback is before we invest any time or money into anything that we're buying. So that is what people are doing when they're buying books. They're seeing, hey, what are other people saying? Good, bad, or indifferent? And a lot of times what people think, because they see, other books, they see oh, this book has 100 reviews, this book has 250 reviews. Oh my gosh, I have to go out and get all these reviews. Well, that's not what you have to do at all. Your strategy in the very beginning or goal should be let me get 3 reviews. So not this gigantic number of 100 reviews. Oh my gosh, I can't market my book until I get 100 reviews. No, it doesn't have to be that complicated. So that's number one. You don't need 1 million reviews. Go out, have a target, 2 to 5 reviews, start there, and then as you progress, then you'll naturally just get more reviews. So, the first way and easiest way to do that is really the good old-fashioned asking people that you already know to review your books. This is probably the easiest way. Call up 5 friends, call up your mom, call up your dad. Now, this is a good starting point, but we have to proceed with caution, because Amazon has gotten smart to all these, little tricks that publishers and authors and writers are kind of, playing, So it's not something that you want to use every single time you publish a book, because Amazon will get wise to this. And a couple of ways they are already getting wise to this is, okay, if you've never reviewed a book before, then they're not going to allow that review to be published. So if you're asking somebody to review a book, make sure that they've bought other books and reviewed other books in the past, so that they have more of a chance to getting that review up and published, okay? And again, this strategy is not to be, used or, use every single time. This is just one way to get your foot in the door and get started. So you don't want to be asking the same exact people every single time. So that's not what you want to do. So, friends and family, great place to start. But as we get into it, there's more great strategies. And next, Amy is going to talk about another strategy that we used recently that worked out really, really well in getting a lot of exposure and getting those initial reviews on brand new books.
Right. So when you're thinking about this book review strategy, I'm going to jump in here with some other strategies that we've used. You have that kind of broad base of just people you know. They may not be interested in that book necessarily so much, But then you want to start moving up, and you might want to be thinking a little bit, like a pyramid where you have the kind of broader people, and then you want to start narrowing it down. And now we want to start tapping into people who may be interested in that particular book or topic. So, if you have a children's book, people who buy children's books for their, for their kids. And one of the best ways to do this is actually to give away your book for free and to run giveaways. And this is a really powerful way to get targeted reviews for your book. And you can do some limited giveaways on Amazon if you're in the KDP Select program, and Debbie's going to talk a little bit more about that in terms of leveraging that. But there are two other sites that you can use that work really well for getting the attention of readers, because they're sites that are geared toward readers. The first site is called librarything.com, and it's just like it sounds, librarything.com. And it's a very popular site for readers. It's a social site. You can go on there and you can review books and discuss books. Unfortunately, the layout of the site isn't the best. It's a little confusing, but it is a popular site. It's a little just chaotic to have a lot of stuff on there. But as a member, it's very easy to sign up. Once you've signed up, and you either have to review a certain number of books, or you just pay like a $2 fee, you actually can run giveaways for the other members. And you can give away electronic versions of your book, or you can give away physical versions, and you can give away up to 100 copies of your book. And Library Thing has it specifically set up where you can actually ask members to leave reviews, and you can ask them to leave reviews at Amazon, at other places you might have your book, on Library Thing. So this is a great strategy because they make it easy for you. It's literally like a one-page form you fill out and you upload your book if you're giving it away electronically, and then they just run the giveaway, and it's just really, really easy to do. And as Deb mentioned, we did use this strategy on one of our books recently. And a second place that you can run giveaways is Goodreads.com, which is actually, I believe it's just been purchased by Amazon not too long ago. And Goodreads is probably the most popular social site and reading site for people who are interested in books. And most authors should probably be on Goodreads anyway, because you get the opportunity on there to fill out like a little social profile about you as an author, and they have a lot of other author tools. So if you're an author, you want to be hanging out on Goodreads. Now, they also have a giveaway where you can give away your book. The only caveat is you have to give away a physical copy. Now, you can set that up for free at Amazon's site, createspace.com. And you can give away a free book, and you don't even have to pay anything up front if you don't want to. You can just have them print out one copy at a time to do your giveaway. And then on Goodreads, they will also, again, leave you reviews either on Goodreads site or on Amazon. So those are two sites that are geared specifically toward readers, and they make it easy for authors to run giveaways and make sure that their book is getting into the targeted hands of whoever their audience is, and then some of those people will leave a review. Now, of course, not everybody will, but you will have some of those people leave a review. So the power of giveaways is something that, you can utilize and leverage, and make sure to use that to get more reviews for your book.
Mm-hmm. That's terrific. Now, I have two questions related to what you just talked about. First of all, getting friends and family to do the initial reviews. Obviously, that's a great idea because they'll be happy to do it for you. But when you go on Amazon and you see 3 reviews of a new book that's just been put up there, I always kind of assume, this is probably their friends reviewing it. So is it a good idea if you have a friend who is like a librarian, for example, or a teacher or someone like that, and you ask them to do a review, and you actually, are they able to put with their name that they are a teacher or a librarian? Would that give the review a little more credibility to the average person reading it? And if they can't put that in their sort of tag with the review, would it be good for them to work that into the review? As a second grade teacher, I think this book would work great for my students, that sort of thing.
Well, I think fortunately and unfortunately, people can put really anything that they want in their review. So this can obviously work for you or against you. Because unfortunately there are people out there, they don't realize how much hard work you put into a project, and they could instantly say something to turn other people off. And unfortunately that happens a lot. One thing to do to kind of get away from that is just to try to get more positive reviews, or take the feedback to heart and make some changes to your book. So that's kind of like a side note. But yeah, I mean, anything that person, obviously if the person puts, 5 stars and says, this is an amazing book, everybody should buy it, that's a little obvious, right? Like, that's definitely your mom talking. But a well-structured review, even if you write the review, the writer, say, hey, I'll do you a favor and give you the review to post, that's not a bad strategy to do either. Just to get started, just to get those, that social proof in order before you start marketing.
Mm-hmm. And does the number of stars that your book has, does that help with your ranking on Amazon, or is it strictly the amount of sales that you have that affects the ranking?
I really think it's the amount of sales, but the stars can affect the sales, of course. But, I was looking at J.K. Rowling's book that she came out with after the Harry Potter book, and that book did not get very good reviews. I think it has like a 3-star rating on average. But it sells, and it sells a lot based on the strength of her name. So, sure. Basically the way Amazon's algorithm works is like the more people buy it, the more they show it to people. So they do people who purchased this book also looked at this. So the more you sell, the more they help you out, which is, again, good and bad, because you can sort of help ride that wave. But if you're not getting those sales on your book, it can be difficult for Amazon to sort of help you out with that.
Right. And I imagine, like you were saying, the more reviews you get, the more credible I think the reviews seem, because obviously if you have 50 reviews of your book, chances are they're not all your friends who are reviewing it at that point. You've got people who actually just bought the book and loved it. So quantity is important here. My second question, following up what you were talking about, was about the book giveaways. How does that work? Do you get people's email addresses and then you send them the free copy of the book, if it's an electronic, if it's an ebook? You said with Goodreads it's a physical copy, so I imagine that goes directly to Amazon. But does the author get any sort of information from the customers at that point?
Right. And that's a great question. With Library Thing, they do give you the email addresses after the giveaway date is ending, and then you can just send it to them through email. Mm-hmm. With Goodreads, they also give you the addresses as well, the physical addresses, and then you're responsible for going into Create Space and placing those individual orders. And they have a lot of caveats, like, this is just for you to send this out. You can't be like sending them other stuff and things like that, So you just want to go and get the book out to them. But that's what they give you. They do give you their name and their address, but it's not really designed for you to be like taking that information and following up with them yourselves necessarily, other than just getting them the book. I know with the Goodreads, I did do another follow-up email to them after they received the book, and I just said, I hope you enjoyed the book. Here's a reminder. Just please go leave a review. Right. So I did that, but I wouldn't be emailing them like every week or anything.
Mm-hmm. But it is acceptable to ask them to leave a review if they enjoyed the book. Is that okay to do?
Definitely, and that's what's great.
Okay, so getting reviews, we want to go on these sites where a lot of readers gather and do book giveaways. I think that's a great idea. What about approaching review bloggers, other blogs like parenting blogs, places like that where they might actually talk about your book?
That is kind of our next strategy for sure, is to contact people who are, who definitely head up those types of review sites, as well as the audience of those review sites and other authors in your niche. Now, this is this is a strategy that we also used in conjunction with our KDP Select Free Days. And that is just a program that Amazon runs that you can actually place your book for free for 5 24-hour periods in a matter of 90 days. And it's something that you have to elect to be in, put your book in. And, there's some stipulations with that, like you can't publish your book anywhere else if your book is on the KDP Select program. So, and people always ask us, like, okay, well, if I ask somebody for a review, how does that work? Like, how do I get my book to them? Do I give it to them for free, or do do they buy it? And both. You want to use both strategies. You want to utilize the KDP Select Days so that you can promote your book and tell people, hey, my book is free. You can download it for free and you can leave a review that way. And this way, in the eyes of Amazon, it still looks like a verified purchase. So it's not like you're emailing them the book and then you're trying to get around Amazon. So that's just one strategy. And even better strategy, though, and this will happen as you kind of grow your network of people you know and unite with, and maybe they'll review your books, you'll review their books. That's a great way to just get reviews too with other authors, is you just get them to buy the book. And maybe you make the book like 99 cents, so it's not expensive for them to buy, and then leave a review that way, because that will also help in the eyes of Amazon as well, because now Amazon is seeing that you have sales and you're getting reviews that way as well. So using those KDP Select Days and also asking people to buy your book are two great strategies. And you can go ahead over to different Facebook groups. Facebook groups are kind of easier to interact with people as opposed to like going to blog sites, but that's definitely also a great way to do it, because you can reach out to blog owners. A lot of the times they charge for that publicity, so you're going to want to get some reviews first before you go ahead and shell out. Sometimes it could be like $200 or $400 for them to promote your book or leave a review, whatever. These people are being asked all the time. You can imagine every single day they're getting asked to leave reviews or do book reviews on their site. So obviously they're probably going to most likely charge for it. But Facebook is a great way to just find people, and there's a lot of pages that are directly related to the effort in getting reviews. So that's what people are there for, and that's what we all know that we have to get this done in order to move up the ranks on Amazon. So, those are, I don't know, do you have anything to add, Amy, in addition to the Facebook and other social media sites?
That can be a good way to get reviews. I think it's always great to just sort of put it out to the different author groups and not necessarily always do a straight across reciprocal, but review other people's in the group too. You don't want to be somebody who just pops in and asks people to review your book, but you don't reciprocate for anybody else. So you should always, if you are going to be making use of a group, you should always try to review at least a couple of other authors' books that are in the group as well. Just to be a good Samaritan and to make sure that you're part of the community.
Another idea for getting traction on some of these blogs, what about offering to do a guest post for someone?
Certainly. I mean, there's also kind of taking that a little further. You can even do what's called, blog tours, which is basically a book tours where you visit a series of blogs. And there's actually some services out there that will arrange those for you for a fee, of course. But it's a good way, too, if you want to try to connect with other bloggers in your niche as well, where you can go and do a brief visit at maybe, 3 or 4 blogs or something like that.
Debbie, you had talked about pricing your book at 99 cents, and that's an interesting point. I didn't think about setting your price point in a way that makes it easy for people to buy it and then give you a review. That's a really good strategy. Now, some authors might be listening to this going, how am I going to make any money that way? But really the point, especially with your first book, is to build your audience. Is that correct? And then you have that audience, and then you want to have books down the road that you can sell them that might be priced higher.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is definitely a strategy to use in the beginning if you're not a well-known author in a particular genre. We just published a fiction book in a new genre for the first time, and, we gained a lot of traction with pricing our book at 99 cents because now we have like our base following. And, you want to be competitive with the other books. You want to look at what are the other books priced at that I'm competing against, right? So if somebody sees your book for $6.99 and another book with 500 reviews for $3.99, well, unfortunately, you're priced out. So, and that's something that you might want to look at even before you publish a book because, books aren't, we can't charge a lot anymore for books anymore because it's just getting so competitive. So if you don't want to go below a specific number, then maybe that niche isn't right for you. And that's all these types of things to kind of consider before you publish the book, or write the book, I should say.
Right. Yes. And you had talked about going on Facebook and going to the Facebook group pages. How would someone find those if they're sort of fairly new to Facebook or fairly new to promoting themselves on Facebook? Are these pages open to anybody? Do you have to ask to be invited to them? How does that work?
These are mostly open groups. You do have to ask to be invited, but if you do a Google search, there's several blog posts that are out there that kind of corral all these Facebook groups in one place, along with places that will promote your book, like for free days. So you can just do a search and you look for, Facebook author promotions or author promotion groups, and there's several things out there that have put those all together, and then, you can just save that and have it available. But you will have to join the groups, and then, you want to keep them organized inside your Facebook account. There's a section there where you have all your groups. Mm-hmm. So you can just open up all the tabs, and if you have your little blurb, you can just copy and paste that into the different groups about your book when you're ready to promote it or get reviews.
Great. And like you said, it's important to participate in the groups as well, not just expect them to review you, but you have to participate and review other people and comment and that sort of thing in order to really be a valuable part of the group and have your work be talked about. It's not a one-way street.
Now, sometimes you have a book that you perhaps don't want people to know that you're the author of. So let's put it that way. So let's say you don't want people to know your genre. You don't want to reach out to all these groups because you just don't want to be associated with that pen name. And this actually happened with us, and we were kind of looking at different avenues on how to get reviews. And what we were doing was we were just, literally going into Amazon and looking for reviewers of people in that particular niche that we were in. And we would find these great reviews, and then we would try to contact a reviewer right through Amazon. The problem is that if you look at the majority of people who write these reviews, they do not have any contact information. Now, Amazon gives people an area where they could put their email and their website, but a lot of people just don't fill that in. For some reason, maybe they don't want to either be known, or maybe they don't want to be contacted at all. And this was, really frustrating because we were like, we would love to get in contact with this person, but they don't have any contact information. So you would go through 10 names and you would see absolutely no contact information, and then the 11th person would have an email, right? Mm-hmm. So we decided, hey, instead of, manually scouring Amazon to get a list of these people to contact, let's build our own tool to literally get the exact reviewers that we want to contact, extract that information, get their email and get their website if they have one, and then everyone else that doesn't have their contact information, we don't need to pay attention to them because we can't contact them anyway. And then that generated the idea of our best-selling piece of software that's called Publisher's Review Accelerator. And it does exactly what it says it does. It finds Amazon reviewers in a specific niche, and it extracts their contact information that you can export, and you can literally, write them an email or have your VA contact virtual assistant or somebody working for you, contact that person to say, hey, I have a book, I see that you reviewed XYZ book, I have a similar book, would you be interested in reviewing my book? And chances are they would, because they've already reviewed a book in that niche. And we've been having a lot of success getting reviews that way and contacting the exact reviewers that are already, look, they've read a book in the niche, they went through the effort of writing the review, and it's the best strategy to kind of, get in front of people who want to hear from you and want to read your book. So, this is the software that a lot of publishers and authors use every single day. Works with both Macs and PCs. It's an Adobe Air application, and we're excited about it.
That sounds wonderful, and there'll be a link to that at the end of this video, and also on our website, because that sounds like a very, very worthwhile purchase for people to make. Cuts down their effort. Well, those are all some really great tips for getting reviews, and that's a great first step for people once they've created their ebook. So Amy and Debbie, thank you again for your time and your expertise, and we will be talking with you again down the road about other marketing strategies for selling your ebook. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.